and different things drive different people. But these elements and the sense of community and purpose is so important, and I think of these three, that's the most important. Because when we talked about the emotional connection, that's going to get you there, right? So what's the purpose of the PTA? What's going to be the driver or the different events that we're going to plan throughout the year that are going to make that connection, with my membership, with my school? Giving a taste test, right? At McDonald's, one of our most effective marketing strategies is not the 30-second commercial that you see. It really isn't. It's not all the advertising that you see on TV. Sampling is. Who here is a Costco membership? I'm a Costco member, and by the time I'm done with Costco, I really do not need to eat in the next 24 hours. Costco is really kind of the example of giving someone a taste, right? McDonald's, we do the same thing. Whenever we launch a new sandwich, whenever we launch a new drink, we want to make sure that we're saying, come on in and try our new Mac Cafe, right? Giving someone a taste test of the PTA is so important. Ask yourselves, when was the last time that as an organization you guys did that? And by that I mean, those people that you've got, have you invited someone to come in and, not a member, you don't want to be, saying come on in and use like harsh tactics in terms of recruiting them, but saying, hey, I'm going to the PTA meeting that's coming up and, we're talking about how we can have an impact on, the program that, we're really focused on. Why don't you join me as a guest? So being welcoming and giving people a taste of what you guys are all about, I think is the biggest marketing tactic that you can possibly use to your advantage in growing your membership base. I would recommend that you have a speaker. And in that special meeting where you have a speaker talking about a specific need that you guys have in your PTA, that's when you should, mobilize your troops and have, that member invite a friend and have them come in. Because a lot of times when you have subject matter experts that can talk about a specific thing that you guys are trying to achieve, that makes a connection. And that will change the perception, right, of what the PTA is all about. We do that all the time. And I think that's such a powerful tool because you get that engagement and that involvement that you're looking for. Are you guys tracking with me? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so in terms of the taste test piece, there's another component. A lot of people are intimidated by large groups, right? One of the things that you may want to do is break it up. We talked about the different needs or the different, areas of purpose, for the PTA in terms of what you want to take on above and beyond the fundraising role. Have some of these members come in a much smaller group, and give them kind of a 1, 2, 3s or the ABCs on what that specific project is all about. But the positioning should be not with a goal of recruitment, right? I mean, that's your end goal, but that's not your purpose. Your purpose is not only to educate them, right, on what that need is for the PTA, but to seek their engagement, right? Seek their input. So whenever you reach out to somebody for input, is that going to make me feel good about sharing with you what I know? Absolutely. People that have a passion for what they do, regardless, are always willing to give you their perspective. Look at me. I'm very happy talking to, the PTA, and I'm nowhere near your world. But we're talking about a topic that I do on a day-to-day basis, that if there's anything that I can share that you can take away, I'm going to feel good about the fact that I was able to share with you some of the stuff that I kind of take for granted, because this is what I do for a living, on a day in and day out basis. So in our restaurants, we do the same thing. We cannot be as effective in feeding these 28 million people in the U.S. if we took a large approach. So what we do is we break down our training session is always broken down. So, whether we have, like in this market, then I'll use Southern California. In LA, for example, we've got, Beverly, help me out, 600 plus restaurants? 620 restaurants. We cannot possibly conduct a training session for 620 restaurants. If you're looking at the staffing of each of the restaurants, it just becomes ineffective, right? So you want to be effective. What do? You break it down. Break it down into small groups. break down, don't have a massive PTA meeting to talk about, what the topic at hand is going to be. Break it up. Have little subcommittees, that kind of share that insight, and you seek people's input. This is the direction of where we want to go. What do you think? That engagement will lead to involvement, right? And that involvement will lead to membership. So that's very important. The other piece too, where we've been very successful, and one of the programs that we have in the marketplace is Coffee with Cops, right? So it seems a little strange, right? But LEPD, for example, here in the market, or any law enforcement organization, always has a goal to go into the community and strengthen that relationship, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Why not have the PTA be that conduit? Why not have the PTA, be that organization that facilitates that relationship?